Map number 1 of a best of 3 coming up here. Gonna be some very fun times. I hope you are all seated comfortably with a nice cup of finest English tea right in front of you. Frost is going to be the host of this map and spawning in the bottom left hand position as the pink Terran player. Representing Max Flow, it is souL. And his opponent to the top left, the red Zerg player, representing Evil Geniuses, none other than Jaedong. Jaedong starting off with an extractor trick there. And this is going to be some fun times. Nothing too scary happening as of yet. Keeping an eye on anything that could go a little untoward. But for the moment, things going fairly safe. Jaedong going to get luck of the first Overlord, which means that he can just come flying on by, get a good scout down, find out precisely what his opponent is doing. Meanwhile, souL adding in that refinery there, going to be going into some Reapers. Jaedong hatching first, which is completely safe to do on a nice big map like Frost with 4 possible spawn positions and just a very unlikely situation where you'd be getting, say, proxy 11-11 2-axed. Not too much else as of yet. The big questions we're going to be looking to answer in the early game is, how does souL follow on from the Reaper that's about to come out? Is it with a second Reaper, then into, say, 4 Hellions, and then a bit of additional pressure? Is it just going to be the 1 Reaper for scouting, into a bit more of a turtle strategy? We'll wait to see. For the moment though, Overlord comes in for Jaedong, scouts out the barracks there, knows it's not a CC first, knows he's not getting rushed or anything like that. Nothing too crazy going on yet. Meanwhile, if we take a look up here, Jaedong, gas, pull, and his hatchery nearly finished. Things looking very calm, very collected, just as I'd expect from Jaedong. First Reaper out, second Reaper is on its way through too. So what this means is that we are going to be getting a little bit of pressure coming in. This isn't just for scouting. Third CC, oh sorry, natural base actually coming down. I thought that was the third CC. Brain's going a bit crazy here. 4 links coming out though. Jaedong is going to be able to deter this single Reaper, at least until the 2 queens come out and really shut it down. Not too much pressure from a single Reaper, but 2 can be a little bit more troublesome. Interestingly though, the second one waiting back at home, not coming over, not revealing itself quite yet, instead just willing to sit back and wait patiently for further pressure to come through, trying not to get too many lings out, perhaps waiting to try and catch Jaedong off guard with those Hellions and the 2 Reapers just for some further pressure. Jaedong positioning his queens really nicely with these lings in order to trap the Reaper should it move forward to attempt to get some drones. Reaper though, now able to go over the top way, going to start chipping away at one of these drones. Jaedong may have to go and make that into a spore, but the queen actually blocking it, just surviving with 2 HP. The Reaper being forced to back away because of its very low health. Combat drugs kicking in now, we'll start healing it up nice and quick. Still just looking to kite and damage and chip away at those lings as he gets a chance. Meanwhile, souL adding in the third CC now. Also, the Hellions just starting in production now. The Zerglings still looking to push back this lone Reaper, but souL doing a great job of keeping it alive and just getting damage where he can. Not doing anything too risky, but unfortunately there gets caught out just as I say that. Caster cursing him there a bit, and the Ling's able to take it out. Of course, there is still another Reaper there, the first 2 Hellions making their way across the map. And Jaedong probably going to be feeling quite confident that he's stopped all of the aggression, and as such, he starts 7 drones immediately into production, which means that he may not be into the absolute best position to defend this now. The queens are going to be able to do a good job of holding off a lot of the pain, especially if the one from the natural comes over too. Another Reaper joining in with this, the 2 Hellions, about to be joined by 2 more, making 4. And with all of this, we're going to be getting a bit more pressure. Queens, getting ready to try and defend this. They have both placed creep tumors, so don't have enough energy in order to transfuse. Meanwhile, back at home, we see souL. He's just adding on another reactor now, powering those add-ons, getting stim through. Still poking and prodding with these Hellions. The Reapers at the front, able to tank up some of the damage and also deal a decent amount. One of the Queens getting pretty low, but through come a couple of Lings. They're looking to get this around, aren't able to achieve it yet, and that means that souL backs away relatively safely. Still, with so many speedlings on the field, these Hellions are going to have to be careful. These Lings ready to wrap around behind, preparing to get the completes around if possible. But for the moment, not going to be able to achieve that. Jaedong still have them off to the left though, ready to keep a close eye in case these Hellions come back in, ready to trap them should they get a bit too bold. But souL being cautious, not wanting to overcommit yet. Jaedong now going into that Spire, nice and early. This is before the Baneling nest has been started. Something we've seen him do previously, but in come those Lings now. Trying to get the wraparound. Don't want to trap just one Hellion, want to get a few if possible. The Hellion and Reaper now taken down, 3 Hellions still remain. But there's a good number of Lings still down on the field. They're looking to go and counter-attack. They're probably not going to be able to achieve much and actually being forced back now since those 3 Hellions still choosing to be a little bit more aggressive. The Spire for Jaedong, nearly done. He's got nearly 700 gas banked up. Should be about 800-ish by the time that finishes. Potentially 8 Mutalisks immediately. Pretty much as early as possible. These Hellions looking to roast anything they can. The Overlord's coming to the high ground just so the Queen can chip away if anything comes over. Double upgrades from Jaedong as well. Those melee upgrades coming through. Meanwhile, souL attempting to take that third base, but getting blocked by some creep. Getting just a little trick. Always nice to be done. Decent number of Lings there. The Hellions going to be forced to back away. One getting very low. All 3 at risk of dying momentarily. Trying to just get as much damage done as they can. Jaedong has actually hit a small supply block there after losing the Overlord that was creep blocking the third base. Not ideal. He did already have those 8 Mutalisks coming out though, and they're ready to start harassing. There isn't a missile turret at the natural base, and that means quite a few SCVs could now get picked off. The SCV constructing it gets taken down, a few Marines waiting to come in until the medevacs are there, but this gives Jaedong plenty of time to back on out and keep these mutas alive for further harassment later. Missile turret should now get started. We've got a couple of Lings at the third base, preventing that from landing. The mutas still trying to find an avenue to continue on with the harassment, but not really finding anything as of yet. +1 air attack coming through, the 1-1 melee upgrades nearly done. Meanwhile, for souL, his 1-1 infantry upgrades are also just kicking in now. Fractionally ahead there. If he starts 2-2 as soon as his armory is completed, he will stay ahead with those upgrades. Load up of a single medevac now, ready to start dropping, but Jaedong has got fantastic coverage with Overlords all across the map. He's going to know exactly when and if any drop starts trying to get through, which is a really nice move here by Jaedong. His Mutalisks are also being very proactive on the map, and there's 18 of them, which means that these drops can get shut down exceptionally quickly if they come in and get scouted, which they will do with so many Overlords about. Another one of those Overlords, creep blocking the 4th base, gets taken down. Doesn't supply block Jaedong that one, but he is pretty much supply capped there anyway. 24 more Lings coming through. Interestingly, there are now 6 Banelings down. Not very many though for this stage, but also souL, only with the 2 mines, doesn't have many great ways to try and take them out. Couple more Banelings morphing in around the back, and this could cause a problem for souL. He's only got 3 Marines here, and I don't think he's going to be able to take them out quickly enough. But Jaedong cancelling nonetheless, seeing that there's only a couple of Marines there, keeping 2 Banelings morphing through. Of course, 2 Banelings do kill SCVs, but that first detonation completely off the mark, uncontrolled, meaning that most of the SCVs get away unscathed. 2-2 upgrades coming through now for Jaedong, +2 infantry weapons just started for souL, who's starting to push out through the centre of the map. He's got a really high medevac count at the moment, but is at risk of this Mutalisk counterattack that just storms into the natural base, takes out that missile turret, and should be able to get some good damage down. There's 20 Mutalisks. Meanwhile, souL is continuing on with this push, having to repair up his natural orbital command after the damage from those mutas. But still, the concern is always going to be there of engaging on creep. souL knows he's in a dangerous position, especially when Banelings are coming in from multiple angles. The splits going quite good, but there's just so much Zerg here at the moment. The Medivacs go for the lift, but the Mutalisks no doubt going to be chasing down a quick unload. But are there enough Marines to stop this? The answer, no, there certainly isn't. Especially with those Lings coming in through too. Down goes those Medivacs. The Mutalisks clean up that push beautifully. And souL down to only 46 army supply compared to the 103 of Jaedong at the moment. Jaedong adding in more Mutalisks, the +1 air armor, and also the 2/2 melee upgrades about to kick in too. This is really where things start snowballing for the Evil Genius's player. He's getting some great damage down, pushing into that missile turret, but with a good repair, not going to chance it as of yet. But the third, this is where he's going for his big damaging play. So many Speedlings, so many Banelings crashing on by, and this is going to be an annihilation of the third base. So many SCVs die. The Marines focus firing down those Banelings effectively on the ramp, but so many SCVs have already died. This is a big problem. The Mutalisks coming through as well. A quick pickup from the Medivacs allows for the fast retreat. But with now 25 mutas on the field, souL is really trying to hold off a relentless tide of Zerg swarm now. His final units getting picked apart, and the mutas can just engage head up now. It's looking very good for Jaedong. He's rallying everything across the map. GG from souL. And Jaedong takes game number 1 of this best of 3.